Yo, welcome back to Cage Calculated. Today, we have the Seattle Fight Night full card predictions, and I'm excited for this one. I've lived in the Seattle area. I've lived about an hour north up in Bellingham before. I no longer live there, so don't dox me, but love the Seattle area. Hopefully the crowd's going crazy. This is a solid card. I'm actually pretty excited for this one. There's some really good prospects on this one. Of course, I'm a huge Izzy fan, so I want to see Izzy get a win in this one. You'll see what I think. We'll go into the main card here in just a little bit, but let's just jump right into this, and we'll start out with a women's MMA fight like normal, like they're putting on every single first fight of the night, but we have a women's strawweight bout. Alexia Dayanara versus Bruna Brazil, and this is an actually pretty solid fight. And you're going to see a theme here. Most of these fights are actually pretty good. Alexia Dayanara is on an 11-fight win streak, high unanimous decision versus Luke Boonmi. Submitted Meatball Molly, so that's a big win in her book. 38% decision rate, 54% sub rate. She's incredibly effective on the ground, has some great submission abilities, good striking defense, good takedown defense, 100% takedown defense at that. Bruna Brazil is coming off unanimous decision loss versus Ketlin Souza. And as you may remember, I, of course, picked Bruna Brazil because I'm an idiot and I am going to learn from this. I have to learn. We're all learning here. We're all getting better on a day-to-day basis. And I'm going to go Alexia Dayanara by submission. I think Bruna Brazil gets shit on. She is pretty much a fraud. I don't think she's any good. She's one of those fighting nerd morons that they don't really like to talk about because she doesn't fit the agenda for fighting nerds. So I'm going to continuously think that she doesn't fit that mode. She's not cut from that cloth, and I think Alexia Dayanara gets it done pretty significantly with, let's say, a rear naked choke. I think she gets it done. Up next, we have Ricky Simón versus Adrian Yanez in a bantamweight bout. Ricky Simón is coming off unanimous decision loss versus Rayoni Barcelos, but does have unanimous decision win versus Cameron Smotherman. Did knock out Javid Basharat, which that win is looking really good now. 32% knockout rate, 50% decision rate, good striking, great takedowns, 4.66 takedowns at 42% accuracy, so can be really effective on the ground. 77% takedown defense, 61 strike defense. The dude's a dog. Looks like a really, really solid fighter, like a 74 overall fighter in the bantamweight division. And Adrian Yanez isn't bad. Is coming off a split decision loss versus Daniel Marcos, but had a knockout win versus Vinicius Salvador. Got knocked out by Jonathan Martinez and Rob Font, but that's just part of the plot line for Adrian Yanez. He's solid on the feet, and I think he is really, really slick. 65% knockout rate. Strikes a lot, throws with a lot of volume, but does take a lot of volume. Does have a pretty high strike absorption rate, in my opinion. I think Ricky Simón is better than Adrian Yanez on the feet, and I think he's a lot better than him on the ground. And Adrian Yanez has an 82% takedown defense, but if he gets rocked in this fight, Ricky Simón's going to try and take this to the ground, and I think he can finish it. There's a possibility of it. At least get some serious control time. But I'm going to go Ricky Simón winning this one by TKO. I think, like I said, he gets a crazy knockdown, is able to get on top, take back control, maybe even just take a full mount and just go to town, get the referee involved, and stop the fight. Ricky Simón has the advantage in this one. I think that the odds maker should make Ricky Simón a bit more of a favorite. I don't think Adrian Yanez really has a chance in this one. I think Ricky Simón's that much better. But regardless, my full prediction, Ricky Simón by TKO. Up next, we have one of the prospects I love to talk about, and the guy that we're kind of waiting on to break through, and Navajo Sterling, one of Israel Adesanya's teammates, taking on Bruno Lopez, who just looks like the generic Pacific Northwestern guy who just shows up at your local farmer's market and picks up all the goth women. He just looks like that guy, but no hate, definitely not projecting on this guy. Navajo Sterling is, like I said, one of those guys that we've all been kind of waiting to break through. He has 3 straight unanimous decision wins over Tacos and other light heavyweight cans, but he has knockout power. He has the striking that is so effective. He just hasn't had that moment that's like, wow, Navajo Sterling is on the come up. And he has a height and reach advantage in this one. 50% knockout rate, 50% decision rate. Lots of volume, really good striking defense, 75% takedown defense. I think he's going to win this fight, but Bruno Lopez is coming off a knockout loss versus Dustin Jacoby. He has decent striking defense, but throws with pretty little volume, relies on his power a lot. Can get a decent amount of takedowns, but I don't think that's going to be much of a factor in this one. I think Navajo Sterling will win this one. It's just whether or not he decides that he really wants to go after it and get a finish. I'm going to think he does. I think he finally breaks through in the UFC. I think he finds his moment, finds his shot, and finally gets that, okay, he's arrived type moment. Pause. I'm going to go Sterling by knockout. I think he gets it done pretty significantly, and I think he finally gets that breakthrough. Up next, we have Casey O'Neill taking on Gabriela Fernandez. These two fight really, really similarly, and I think this is going to be a really close fight. Casey O'Neill is coming off a unanimous decision win versus Luana Santos. She did lose her previous 2 fights before that, but is a very capable fighter. Gabriela Fernandez is coming into this one with 3 straight wins. Did submit Wong Kong, which is a W in my book. Anyone who beats Wong Kong makes me feel a special sort of way about them. So love to see that. Big fan of Gabriela Fernandez. Most of these stats, again, are really, really similar. Similar knockout rate, similar absorption rate, similar takedown defense rate. But the thing that separates these two is the strikes landed per minute for Casey O'Neill. 7.89 strikes landed per minute at 53% accuracy versus a 3.56 strike landed per minute at 48% accuracy for Gabriela Fernandez. I think Casey O'Neill just gives you more to look at. She's going to give you volume. She cannot maybe find the power shot necessarily as much, but she's going to just give you more of a body of work to judge. And I think if this fight does go down to a decision, she'll win it on that aspect. I'm going to go Casey O'Neill winning this one by unanimous decision, likely a 29-28. Could be slow in some moments, some decent pocket exchanges, but it's going to be a fight. It's not going to be just slow the entire time, but it's just that classic women's MMA fight that, there's no power shots or no one's really getting rocked, but it's just a good kind of striker / in and out of the pocket type style fight. So I think Casey O'Neill has the advantage in that one. I think her takedown defense is going to be just fine against Gabriela Fernandez. I think they're going to both want to keep this fight on the feet, and I think Casey O'Neill has the advantage in it. Up next, we have everyone's favorite blob making his appearance. Once again, we've got Marcin Tybura taking on the kind of unknown Tyrell Fortune. Marcin Tybura is coming off a knockout loss versus Ante Delija, which that is not looking good. That is aging like milk. 37% knockout rate, 26% sub rate. He's a decent all-around fighter, decent striking defense, and decent takedown defense. But he's 40 years old. He's a 40-year-old man, and Tyrell Fortune is kind of an unknown coming into this one. He is a Bellator warrior, is a PFL former warrior, has 3 straight knockout wins coming into this one, but I couldn't use any stats, obviously, because he's never fought in the UFC. It's his initial UFC debut, so shout out to Tyrell Fortune making his UFC debut. I like the momentum of the guy. I think he is in better shape than Marcin Tybura. I think he's going to be able to back up Marcin Tybura, really unload against him on the fence, maybe get a takedown or 2, maybe just take some top control, pause. I mean, we're adults, right? This isn't like Diddy shit. Like, we got to start relaxing with the pause, but regardless, Tyrell Fortune is a good, solid fighter. I think that he's just going to be able to get it done against Marcin Tybura and get a win. I think he's going to win this one by knockout. Probably not in the first round, maybe not even in the second round, but like a 3rd round knockout, that feels like perfect for this style of fight. I think Marcin Tybura is just going to gas out and Tyrell Fortune is going to capitalize. Let's go Tyrell Fortune by KO. Up next, we've got everyone's favorite boy, man, child, gooner, Chase the Goon Hooper versus Lance Gibson. Lance Gibson did lose his UFC debut to Bobby Green, but that's bound to happen. King Green just beat Daniel Zellhuber, so not a bad loss in my books. Chase Hooper is coming off a knockout loss versus Alexander Hernandez, but we know how good this dude is on the ground. He's an absolute monster. He uses his frame so effectively, threatens from so many different places, arm bars, triangles, heel hooks. The dude is such a complete fighter on the ground. Has a height and reach advantage in this one. 50% striking accuracy, 2.5 takedowns, around 33% accuracy. Pretty low strike absorption rate because he does make most of his fights a ground game. But Lance Gibson Jr., he's not bad. He has submission ability, so I don't think he's just a complete dud on the ground. But I think Chase Hooper just uses his frame so well, and I think Lance Gibson's going to have his work cut out for him. I doubt this fight stays on the feet. Chase Hooper does have reach, but Lance Gibson has the power shot, and there's a chance that he's able to land that one big shot. I think this is going to be a close one. I think Chase Hooper is going to use control time to his advantage, threaten those submissions, and really make Lance Gibson work. I'm going to go Chase Hooper winning this one by unanimous decision, and hopefully we don't mention gooning in our post-fight press conference. We are 26 years old. Let's grow up a little bit. Up next, we have Ignacio Bahamondes taking on Tafiq Musayev. Ignacio Bahamondes, if you don't know, one of the better fighters in this lightweight division, is outside of the rankings, but was at one point ranked. Did lose to Rafael Fiziev by unanimous decision. Does have knockout wins over Manuel Torres, a submission win over Jalen Turner. Has a huge height and reach advantage in this one as well. He's a really, really good fighter. I mean, 65% knockout rate, 6.55 strikes landed per minute, 4.33 strikes absorbed per minute, 56% defense, 75% takedown defense. This dude's a stud. He is a really well-rounded fighter and really doesn't have a whole lot of holes in his game. Tafik Masayev's a great fighter as well. And this is going to be a really fun matchup. I'm excited for this one, and this is the main event of the prelims. So Tafik Masayev did get subbed by Miktabek Orbay in his UFC debut. But again, never speak ill upon Miktabek. That's just bound to happen. Guy is a Ryzen and Bellator warrior. Like I said, he's not bad. And against any other lightweight, I would feel decently confident that Tafik Masayev could at least give them problems. And anyone who is worse than Ignacio Bahamondes, he probably wins. But Ignacio Bahamondes is that good. I just noticed I spelled his name wrong, so you're going to have to forgive me. Regardless, I'm going to go Ignacio Bahamondes winning this one by unanimous decision. I think he's just going to strike at range, really use his frame effectively. If the fight does go to the ground, I think he is more than capable to get up and get out of those submission attempts from Tafik Masayev. I think he's going to do a great job and have a great performance in this one. I'm expecting greatness from Bahamondes. Moving into the main card, we've got T-Rex Terrence McKinney returning to the cage, taking on eyes too close together Kyle Nelson. Isn't that just odd? Look how close his eyes are together. It's just unsettling. He kind of looks like a skinwalker to me. But Terrence McKinney, we know the story. The dude fights like he's got dinner reservations in 15 minutes and needs to get the hell out. He comes in swinging out of his mind. He's got takedown ability. He's got submission ability. It's kill or be killed with Terrence McKinney. That's his game plan. Kyle Nelson, on the other hand, is coming off unanimous decision win versus Matt Frevola. Is pretty dangerous, but is a little chinny. And that's going to play into the pick with Terrence McKinney. But is a little chinny, did get knocked out by Steve Garcia. Steve Garcia is doing that to everybody. Decent knockout rate, 3.60 strikes landed per minute, just under 50% accuracy. Around 4.5 strikes absorbed per minute. 67% takedown defense. Kyle Nelson's like a solid 70 overall fighter in the lightweight division, but I think Terrence McKinney is going to find his shot. I think Terrence McKinney is either going to land a lethal overhand and knock him out, or crafty prediction for me, I think he wins this one by submission. I think he's going to get a big takedown early in the round, surprise Kyle Nelson, who's going to expect just big overhands and hooks to try and find the off switch. I think he's going to surprise Kyle Nelson with the takedown, get back control, and just start a rear naked choke crank and absolutely put out Kyle Nelson in the first minute and a half. We know the game plan of Terrence McKinney. I hope he gets it done. Big fan of the guy. Interacted with our Instagram. Consider him a fan of the channel at this point. Love Terrence McKinney. Hopefully T-Rex gets it done. Moving into the next main card fight, we've got another fantastic prospect, a pair of prospects actually. Mansour Abdulmalik taking on Yusrai Belagrui. Mansour Abdulmalik is a monster. He had a 1-minute submission win versus Antonio Tricoli, 78% knockout rate, 22% sub rate, 70% first round finish rate, strikes with immense accuracy, has great takedown defense, just looks like a stud. The dude is a coming up prospect in the middleweight division and will be a great contender in the future, but he's facing Yusrai Belagrui, who has 2 straight knockout wins, one in the Dana White Contender Series and one in his UFC debut. He looks like a really solid fighter, has a 4-inch reach advantage, has a 4-inch height advantage, and this one is incredibly tall. What is that, 6'6"? That's nuts for a middleweight fighter. Insane. 5.82 strikes landed per minute, 66% accuracy, 2.52 strikes absorbed per minute, 61% defense, 68% takedown defense. Guy looks awesome. He looks like a fantastic fighter, but he's fought some lesser opponents. I know that Mansour Abdulmalik fought Antonio Tricoli, who absolutely blows, but I think Mansour Abdulmalik gets this one done. I won't doubt this guy until he gives me a reason to, and he just looks like a world beater really early into his MMA career. I'm going to go Abdulmalik winning this one by sub. I think the smaller man usually wins if the ground game comes into play here. Mansour Abdulmalik's going to be able to take the back, maybe even get like a cool anaconda choke just with how long Yusrai's neck is. I think he's just going to use that submission game really, really effectively and get the win. Yusrai also kind of looks like a better version of Antonio Tricoli, so maybe that's playing into my pick as well. But Yusri Belagurui is still a fantastic fighter, and I could easily see him getting a knockout or something crazy. He is very, very capable to put the lights out on somebody at any given moment. This is a fantastic fight for the main card. Moving into probably one of the worst fights on the main card. It's kind of just a strange one. This just one feels like a prelim fight. We got the vet Julian Erosa versus Lorian Douglas. Julian Erosa is coming off unanimous decision loss versus Makeziel Costa. Kind of one of those guys that just beats up on all the no-names but gets beat by anyone who's worth a damn. 4-inch height advantage in this one, 2.5-inch reach advantage, is definitely a little bit shinny, been knocked out a lot in his career. Decent strikes landed per minute rate, just under 50%, has decent takedown defense, has decent takedown ability. But Lorian Douglas, I try not to overreact to Dana White Contender Series veterans, but this dude had a 36-second knockout win in his Dana White Contender Series fight. The dude looks awesome. He is a former LFA champ, as you can tell with him holding that belt. He has fought some of the best outside of the UFC. I think he's very, very capable to win this fight, and I think he will win this one. I think he has great power. He has been finished before, so there's the capability of him getting, chinned, but regardless, Lorian Douglas is the favorite for a reason. I'm going to go Lorian Douglas winning this one by knockout. I think he finds the off switch on Julian Erosa, maybe end of the first round, start of the second round, finds the power shot, finds the range, and is able to get into the pocket and threaten Julian Erosa pretty early and find that kill switch. Moving into the featured fight of the night, we've got the Unk Bowl. We got to have one every card, man. Michael Chiesa's retirement fight, rest in peace, one of the legends of the game, versus one of the frauds of the game, Nico Price. I'll tell my story about Nico Price here in a second after I talk about Michael Chiesa. But Michael Chiesa, 3 straight wins, had 2 submission wins, one against Tony Ferguson, rest in peace, and Max Griffin. There's not much to be said about Michael Chiesa other than he's just getting fed Nico Price just to have an easy win as he retires. Nico Price, dude, he just got knocked out in February by Nikolai Varetnikov, and guess who picked Nico Price to win that fight? Yep, yours truly. That's what we do at Cage Calculated. I make dumbass decisions on my gut instead of actually looking at fight statistics and making a well-educated decision. That's my bad. It won't happen again. Nico Price is getting slimed, and I'm going to enjoy every second of it. I hope Michael Chiesa subs him in the first 30 seconds. Chiesa, the work's cut out for you. Do your job and make my night. Nico Price, it's time, brother. It's time to get cut. The season is over. The game is over. End it now. Nico Price, see you in the afterlife, buddy. Up next, we have Alexa Grasso versus Macy Barber, a.k.a. the Feet Bowl. And I've got one of the greatest slides in Cage Calculated history up next, and I'll sneak peek it because look at this slide. I'm not a feet guy. I'm like Dana White when it comes to feet, where it's like, I can recognize game, but I'm not an enjoyer. And Ashlyn, if you're watching this, I promise to God I'm not into feet. I have a girlfriend. She's got very beautiful feet as well. I just want to make that very clear. But this is the Feet Bowl, man. We've got an opportunity for Macy Barber to maybe take the champion feet queen from Alexa Grasso. We'll move back to the main slide. Let's get back to actual topics. Obviously, the feet is going to be the main decision of why I make this, but let me put some stats involved in this one, though. Alexa Grasso has 2 straight losses, one to Valentina Shevchenko when she lost her belt, and then lost to Natalia Silva. Both of those were unanimous decision losses, but 4.11 strikes landed per minute, 41% accuracy, has a little bit of a takedown game, 3.73 strikes absorbed per minute, but she's really experienced. She's fought some of the best in the women's flyweight division, had a belt at one point, is very, very capable. But Macy Barber, she is just one of those fighters that downloads information, a Piotr Jan type, if you will, who just gets better every single fight. And those of you who are ball knowers know that these two have fought back in 2021 when Alexa Grasso beat a 23-year-old Macy Barber. I think Macy Barber has taken leaps and bounds and strides to get better. I think Macy Barber gets this one done. I think she'll win this one by unanimous decision. She won her last fight. Of course, I picked Macy Barber to lose her last fight. That plays into this a little bit as well, as I picked Karine Silva to win, and obviously Macy Barber had a masterclass. So I won't doubt again. Macy Barber, 40% knockout rate, 47% decision rate, great strikes landed per minute, has takedown ability, low strike absorption rate. She just looks a little bit better, and I think that she learns, again, from every single fight. She knows the game plan of Alexa Grasso. I think she's going to come into this with a really well-rounded game plan and well-coached, well-thought out, uses her footwork really well, feet, and takes the foot Queen title from Alexa Grasso. I mean, take a gander. Is this not greatness? Is this not what you want to see from Cage Calculated? Absolute masterclass, and what a breakdown from your boy. Then we move into the main event of the evening. One of my GOATs, Israel, the last stylebender, Adesanya, taking on Joe Pyfer. Now, I want to preface by saying I like Joe Pyfer. I think he is a very capable middleweight. I think he is a future top 10 contender in the UFC. But something about Izzy, man. Something about Izzy. Yes, he has lost 3 straight fights to Sean Strickland, to Dricus, and got slimed by Nasruddin Imavov. We hated to see it. But we know Izzy is capable of more. We've seen the striking masterclasses he's put on before. 77% takedown defense. The dude dictates the fight, knocked out Poatan, and got his belt back when Poatan was the biggest weight class bully of all time. The dude is one of the legends of the game for a reason. Now, Joe Pyfer, 3 straight wins coming into this fight. Knocked out Marc-Andre Barriault. UD'd the wide-bodied Kelvin Gastelum and subbed Magomedov in his most recent fight. Great win from him, by the way. 60% knockout rate, 27% sub rate, 40% first-round finish rate. Great striker, super immense power from this guy. Good wrestling base, 1.23 takedowns at 33% accuracy. 3.05 strikes to the door per minute at 54% defense. Joe Pyfer has the kill switch ability, and that's what scares me about Izzy, is because he's been chinned. I think that Alex Pereira knockout really did a number on Israel Adesanya. But Joe Pyfer's never fought anyone close to the level of Israel Adesanya. And so going into this pick, I was trying to make an argument on why I should pick Izzy, because I was originally going with Joe Pyfer. And so I was comparing Joe Pyfer to Nasruddin Imavov. How did we see that knockout come to fruition? Nasruddin Imavov, up to that point before he fought Izzy, had beaten Brendan Allen, Jared Cannonier, Roman Dolidze, Joaquin Buckley, knocked out Izzy, and then beat KO Borrello. Nasruddin Imavov is a fantastic middleweight, and I know he's getting jumped by Sean Strickland to take on Khamzat, but he is inevitably going to get a title shot at a point in time. Joe Pyfer hasn't fought anyone nearly the same level as Nasruddin Imavov in that list at all. In my honest opinion, I think Israel Adesanya schools this guy. I think he strikes at range. He eats up the calf. Joe Rogan maxes. Man, those calf kicks they're damaging calf kicks. That leg is toast. He is going to strike at range, prevent the takedown, and have an absolute masterclass. The fight that I'm going to compare this to is when Israel Adesanya fought Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa was this chiseled knockout machine who was just massacring everyone up until his title shot. Everyone doubted Izzy then. They said he is going to get chinned. Paulo Costa is just bigger, faster, and stronger than Israel. Maybe not faster, but definitely stronger than Israel Adesanya. And what did Izzy do? He ate up the front leg. He jabbed, pulled down the lead arm of Paulo Costa, did a lot of body work, inevitably found the chin of Paulo Costa, took him down, started landing ground and pound on him, and was able to get the win and prove the doubters wrong. This is going to be exactly like that. He has the height advantage. He has the reach advantage. Israel Adesanya has the tools to beat a Joe Pyfer build. He's done it before, and he's going to do it again in Seattle. The crowd's going to go crazy. Israel Adesanya is back, baby, and I am going to be witness. We are all bearing witness to an Israel Adesanya return. Maybe not a contender, maybe not even a champion anymore, but Israel Adesanya will not be denied. I'll be damned if Israel Adesanya loses this fight. I am confident that he is coming in with a masterclass of a game plan, is getting back on that horse, and does his thing. Israel Adesanya is winning this by unanimous decision. I don't think he finds the knockout button, but I think he just puts on such a striking clinic. It is going to wow the crowd. It is going to just bring a tear to me, heal something in me, heal the inner child in me. When I fell in love with MMA, Israel Adesanya was there, and he is going to rekindle that love I have for the greatest sport on earth. Appreciate y'all watching. Hope y'all had a good weekend. Hope y'all are having a good week. Hope y'all enjoy this fight card. I like this fight card, by the way. This is just a gas fight card. One of the better ones so far this year. Appreciate y'all watching. Like I said, go check out the Instagram, go check out the Twitter, go check out the TikTok. Appreciate all the love and support we've been getting. Hope y'all have a good one. See ya!